Well, I will just have to upload this. I seem to have the worst luck trying to live stream anything to YouTube. I set my broadcast rate or whatever they say, performance, down to low. It still says consider using a lower performance or a less broadband. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to adjust my broadband at. My performance is all the way down. 360 DPI, and still, you're broadcasting too high, too much power, can't handle it. Why? Have you seen what most streamers do? What up? Do I need to go to Twitch? I think I'll start streaming on Twitch. It's more for gamers anyway. Well, in that case, then, I do believe I had a book I wanted to finish. That's so awesome. I just got up to 60 subscribers. I'm so happy. Something else I was listening to. Probably wind up dropping y'all right in the middle of that one too. Sentience Wars. Yeah. Book 2 of the Sentience Wars Origin. Lyra's Run.
By James S. Aaron and M.D. Cooper. Narrated by Laura Jennings. Long before Tanis Richards and the events of OutSystem. Before the Sol Space Federation and the days of Tanis serving in the Terran Space Force, the Sol System was a far wilder place. No central government sat over top the many planets and groups of asteroids and habitats, though the Sol Gov Assembly tried to maintain some order. Many of the great megastructures had been built, such as Hytera and Mars One, but many others had not. Most importantly, there are few sentient AI, and those who do exist are unwelcome and often illegal. In a future without faster-than-light travel, teleportation, artificial gravity, or advanced shielding, a ship in space is just one small collision away from destruction. This is the Sol System we find ourselves in at the close of the 30th century, and the dawn of the age of AI. Log. Stellar date 08.27.2981. Adjusted years. Location: Benevolent Hand. Region: near Krunia Station. Terran Hegemony. Inner Sol. Command deck of the Benevolent Hand was a mess of complaining alerts and desperate officers staring into displays. In addition to the mayhem, Cal Kraft had a feeling the captain was actively trying to get them all killed. Grabbing the pirate ship's sunny skies should have been easy. Instead, Cal had spent the last 2 hours watching the crew of the Benevolent Hand stumble over themselves trying to find the freighter among a crowd of thousands of ships swelling the shipping lanes around Crunia Station, which was little more than Ingersoll's crusted toilet as far as he was concerned. When am I going to have another drone swarm? Captain Pillar demanded from his seat in the middle of the command deck. He was a heavily built veteran from the Terran Space Force who had turned out to be the sort of officer who looks good on paper but had managed to avoid direct combat during his 40-year career. He was also inordinately proud of his drooping yellow mustache. "They're working on it, sir," one of the lieutenants called from a console on the other side of the holographic display dominating the room. "We're out of raw materials for the replicators, so they're stripping furniture out of rooms right now." "How did we manage to run out of material for the replicators?" Pillar griped. "We never expected to need 2,000 attack drones, sir." Pillar wiped his flushed face. "That's got to be wrong." Cal suppressed a smile. He had told Pillar not to underestimate the low-spin syndicate, the group providing cover to the sunny skies. It had been obvious from the beginning that Heartbridge had aligned themselves with the least intelligent of the two gangsters running Crunia. Rig Xander might have talked a good game, but he was nothing compared to Ingo Bastarl, the brutal dandy as they all called him. It hadn't taken Cal long to appreciate Starl, going so far as to slap one of his lieutenants on the back of the head. Among a real crew, such behavior might have been preferable to getting pistol-whipped. For the showboats of the Benevolent Hand, Heartbridge Corporation's hidden in plain sight battle cruiser masked as a hospital ship, Pillar's leadership made them as combat effective as 5 cats in a bag. In the holotank, the shark-like shape of the Benevolent Hand hung in space above the lumpy mass of Crunia Station, an asteroid with a mottled ring covered in the crust of thousands of structures, docks and airlocks that supported its illegal activities. Crunia had the relatively unique characteristic of a horseshoe orbit, moving it between Earth and Mars at opposite ends of the year.
Sensors online.
Over the centuries,
Weapons
the 5-kilometer chunk of rock had become a favorite of Ingersoll pirates.
All systems nominal.
Which was interesting, since the TSF had a regular presence on the station and conducted routine interdiction operations on their traffic. The mix of military presence, corporate entities, and crime syndicates all operating in the same overcrowded warren resulted in a specific breed of roach-like criminal. Between the Benevolent Hand and Crunia, 100,000 kilometers of space was filled with growing tendrils of what looked like fireflies, but represented ships clogging the station's defined traffic lanes. Somewhere in one of those tendrils was the ship they needed to seize. For the last 2 hours, they had been under constant attack from pirate boarding teams and standoff platforms concentrating missile barrages across their sensor arrays, and most recently, the command deck.
Well, let's go have some fun.
Artillery strike online.
The ship is capable of transporting thousands of wounded and providing advanced medical services. That gooey center is surrounded by missile banks, railguns, and core defense cannons, as well as one of the most advanced drone fleets available, with replicators to quickly spin out new attack ships for the swarm. This
the whole team on that side.
Nothing's easy, Cal told himself. The same size was a 300-year-old freighter with deuterium drives and a habitat. From what Cal knew about its captain, Andy Sykes,
target spotted.
Told to surrender days ago. More concerned about his 2 kids than he had been hired to smuggle off Crunia. "Sir," lieutenants yelled. "They've got a breached vessel in the hull of the engines.
New
Scans
target
are showing
acquired.
a nuclear device." He closed his eyes and breathed, visualizing.
Somebody got hurt.
Target spotted.
Between and the engine section. Plenty of time to get off the ship. There was a locker with 4
Anyone else got
Target acquired.
He might need to kill
Artillery
3 of the nearby
strike
crew to reach the
online.
locker first.
New target
Trust that
acquired.
the escape pods would serve as target practice for the pilots. Can we get a point defense cannon on it?
New target acquired.
It's inside the effective range, sir.
Who the heck is shooting
Redirect
at
to
me?
drone team. I've
Artillery
already done
strike
that, sir.
online.
I'm showing 2 minutes for the nearest team to return to station. What kind of nuke would pilots have?
Target spotted.
Cal wondered. Probably not military grade.
New target
Likely some
acquired.
rigged reactor from the ancient red. Most likely a piece of mining. That made more sense. Easier to steal and slip
Enemy
into
base
of
is being captured.
maybe even with legit papers. He'd grown up on a mining road working the remnants of Mercury. But it was almost comforting to let his mind sleep over the various types of explosives one could retrofit from a standard mining rig to serve a
New target acquired. Enemy base is being captured.
Hefting its weight, tightening down the harness,
Need assistance.
watching the bits of flesh melt away from its painting Oh God, the lieutenant said in a low voice. Cal was
being captured.
slumping in his chair, arms slack at his sides.
Damn, all that barely gets through.
Looks like a wolf. The lieutenant said. He reached for his
New
console.
target acquired.
Target spotted.
It's inert. Maybe
Enemy
if
base
they
is
were
being
accessible.
captured.
Scoffed. Pirates. Can't
New
even set off a
target
bomb.
acquired.
Could be a feint.
Screw it.
Cal told Pillar privately over his link. They don't have the resources.
New target
Pillar
acquired.
said, his voice dripped arrogance. So that doesn't make it true. Looks like they've had the resources to defuse your attack drones and hide our target. The sunny skies could be anywhere right now. They haven't left crewed local space. Pillar scoffed. The minute they break for one of those lanes, we'll have them. The only thing they can do is hide in there with the rest of the trash until we dig our way in. Right. Pillar turned to scowl at Cal from his command seat,
Artillery
looking
strike
like a baby in a high
activated.
chair.
New target acquired.
Why are you here again? The captain said. You're my bus driver, Cal said. He gave Pillar a slight smile, fixing his gaze on the huffing captain. Without hearing their conversation, the crew was going to think Pillar was choking on something. Good place for a medical emergency, Cal mused. Facilities on the benevolent hand could build a new organ in minutes. I've got massive course shifts, Captain. One of the lieutenants called out. Her hands flew over her console.
I'm gonna go over there and see if I can't chase those guys out.
All around Crimea, the shimmering veins designating the shipping lanes were spreading apart. The green triangles indicating their attack drone teams were almost hidden beneath the spreading blanket of lights, currently moving away from Crimea in all directions. He stared at the holograph, running through everything he knew about Andy Sykes. His
Excellent,
reckless ship,
New
his
target
kids.
acquired.
Sykes was weak. He could run for high tech, try to make use of his TSF contacts. With time, closer to the closer, just sent off power. Did Sykes even know? Jackson
Destroyed.
had at least explained to Sykes who might be coming after him.
Target spotted.
As soon as
Target
they
acquired.
Woodbridge's road would have been clear. Startled
New
by
target
the game.
acquired. Warnings incoming.
Sykes, sitting at the table in
New
the
target
restaurant
acquired.
and dance club. Cal found
Warning
himself
incoming.
frustrated,
Target
Missile.
spotted.
staring at the former TSF pilot and shown. Knowing his story, Cal had expected a vicious
UAV
run.
activated.
Sykes reminded him
The
of a
buses
closed
did
mouth
something.
New target
so I
acquired.
could be used for other tasks, benign under most
Heat level
circumstances,
critical.
but deadly when used correctly. Starl had chosen the perfect pawn. If not for Sykes' kids, Cal thought this might have been a difficult job.
Target spotted.
Sykes would disappear for years anywhere in Seoul.
New target acquired.
If only Jixon hadn't put a bullet in his head.
New target acquired.
He didn't explain. Captain Sykes. Cal thought. The lights in the holograph was almost beautiful. Very graphics of a mining control rig, where the brain didn't have time to sort.
LRM-20 combo.
Substance. If their quarry hadn't been hobbled, they would have already lost. The display was a valuable reminder. He couldn't let pretty things mask the truth.
Screw it.
Sykes couldn't go to
Can't go
ground.
chasing bunny
He had a
rabbits.
task. He had constraints and limitations. Checking those off one by one led to a few possible outcomes. From Cleveland,
Target
Sykes could
acquired.
only go in one direction.
New
Out of
target
sight.
If you
acquired.
don't, at least
Set
it'll
a course
distract them
for
so I
Mars
can
One.
get more kills.
What? Why? We've got a mess of ships
Oh, it
slipping
might
through
have
the
that
fingers.
anymore.
They're going to Mars.
Yeah,
They have to
it's
refuel
fine.
before they go anywhere else. They'll
Right
probably
torso
some
critical
kind of
damage.
cargo.
Major torso critical damage. LRM ammo at 25%.
He was going to defy the order. Simply because
Left
he could.
torso critical
Maybe he
damage.
should have called.
Right arm critical damage.
Shared a few confidences.
Base is
This
being
defiance
captured.
was irritating. He visualized exploding Pillar's head with his pistol. The thought nearly made him smile, and he had to remember the captain was still
Left arm critical damage. Left arm critical damage. Left torso destroyed.
What about Sirius?
Right arm destroyed. AMS ammo destroyed. LRM ammo destroyed.
Damn it!
Good, yeah. I feel like I just made you guys panic. My bad.
I was so trying.
Mars One also offers me the opportunity to get a new ship. The captain stiffened.
Oh, I was doing so good. I got that Atlas. If that little bastard hadn't snuck up around behind and in front of me. Oh. One killing blow, 5 kill assist, 2 most damage, 620, 692, not bad. 3 components, that's rare. 417. Makes me 6th. Yeah, 6th best.
I was given this assignment by the board. I'm the captain. I don't have to take orders from you. Keep telling yourself that, Cal said. He nodded toward the holograph. Looks like we've got at least a third of the view as they left Green local space. Sir, a crew member reported. We've got another 100 drones ready. We can field on your order. Recall the swarms, Keller said. Get me a quick damage scales plot for Mars One. Mars One, sir? The astrogation lieutenant verified. That's what I said, isn't it? Keller snapped. Yes, sir. Cal set his mouth in a straight line, irritated by Pillar's transfer of abuse. He'd have to ease off on the captain if the man was only going to turn around and kick his crew. When the pirates managed to breach with a second look, this time blowing a 300-meter hole in Benevolent Hand's hull just forward of the main engine, Cal seized the opportunity in the resulting chaos in zero-G to float near Pillar. He didn't feel particular spite toward the man, but clearly a person who abused the weak to continue in command. He hit Pillar with a needle gun concealed in his right ear, the projectiles catching the beefy captain just behind his right ear. The needles penetrated immediately and would dissolve, leaving a neurotoxin behind that would both shut Pillar's mouth and stop his heart, appearing on any autopsy as a trauma-induced heart attack. That wouldn't matter soon, however, since it looked like Benevolent Hand was about to crack open to vacuum. Cal made his way to the locker just outside the command deck airlock and grabbed one of the EV suits and a pulse rifle. He didn't want to have to hurt anyone on his way to the nearest shuttle, but sometimes the job required things he didn't like to do. He still did them. 1. Stellar date 08.29.2981. Adjusted years.
See if I can get some good
Night Park. Fresno
missile
Heights
weather.
residential area. Region. Crunia Station. Terran hegemony. Inner Soul. Crunia was a mess. Britt Sykes stood on the edge
You see
of
what
the
I
night park,
mean about the
most
layout
which
of
was
this
cordoned
Mac?
off by construction barriers.
I did not.
The usual bright mix of the vendors' colored
I did not like this mech to start off with. I thought it was a waste of light digital rendering. And then I got to play around with it some. And an LRM-20, a pulse large laser, and 5 ER medium lasers. Throwing a bunch of heat sinks. And I have got pretty good, well-rounded mech, actually. I love the ability to tap areas that need a little highlighting with the pulse laser when my LRMs hit. And when I get close enough to optimal range with my medium lasers, love opening up somebody with those things. And it's just a great mix of long range punch and medium range punch. Oh. Reminds me, I gotta film some stuff for my smoker channel. If you're curious, it's the 3D smoker. I review the new trend here in Florida of Delta 8 THC cartridges and smokable treats and edibles. And how delicious it all is. Good afternoon.
Reactor online.
Please, you have a tag.
Sensors
That would be
online.
great. The LRMs are going to be
Weapons
at your
online.
second disposal.
All systems nominal.
No, we love you. Hell yeah. No, that's fine. Narc's just as good, if not better. Thank you for your time. Fly safely.
Artillery strike online.
What the hell is on the Annihilator's back?
Probably a fleet.
Jeez, that is mad tricked out.
Target acquired. Target acquired.
Hang on, Beta.
Artillery strike online.
so pinned down.
New target acquired.
Firing on Delta.
New target acquired.
Firing on Hotel.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Giving Charlie some love.
Target spotted.
I'm giving Hotel love. And hey, thank you very much to the NARPS guys. That's very nice. Coming on Hotel.
Need assistance.
Target destroyed. Base is being captured. Target acquired. Enemy base is being captured. New target acquired. Base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.
Firing on Alpha.
Enemy base is being captured. New target acquired.
Hotel's in the open.
Enemy base is being captured.
Giving Hotel some love.
Coming to back you up in H4.
I am a stick.
Base is being captured.
I'm a stick. Time to face tank.
Base is being captured. Heat level critical. Target acquired. captured. Enemy base is being captured. Base is being captured. Warning, incoming missile. LRM ammo at 25%. Base 25% captured. Enemy base is being captured. Incoming missile. Base is being captured. Target destroyed. Warning, incoming missile. Left torso critical damage. Warning, incoming missile. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Oh, love this mech. Love it.
Last guy's on our base. Fuck.
Enemy base is being
Hold
captured.
him. Let's camp his base.
Target acquired.
Right.
Base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.
Well, this was a fun game.
I'm surprised. I am basically pieces on the ground. I am pulling myself along the ground, one arm at a time. One arm, one
Enemy
leg.
base is being captured.
One weapon.
I gotta give the little narc guy props, man.
A freaking big love to the narc guys. Good job.
Yep.
Please.
All
love to the L3. 3L. Lots of love.
Lots of love all around. That was an awesome game. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
guys.
All power to the narcs.
Yeah, yeah. 2 killing blows, 8 kill assist, 1 most damage. 6
Only in Mech Warrior are narcs praised.
That's great. 5 components? Awesome. How do you get a defensive kill? What the hell is a defensive kill? I'm gonna have to look that up. What exactly is a defensive kill? Really? I did that good and I didn't break 500? Oh, I'm the second best one. In the entire match, I'm second best. That's awesome. Oh, for a minute there, I thought he was gonna kill my ass. I know what he's doing. He's lined up for an alpha strike on my clearly open backside. I'm a dead man. Oh, I don't know why he didn't. He had me dead to rights. Of course, then again, by that time, I think I noticed he was starting to take fire from like at least 3 other people. All right. Let's see if I've gotten any further.
Tense was like a paint spill. Everything misshapen and smashed together. From where she stood, Britt could see the massive plascrete tree standing in the fountain, marking the center point of the park. The black forms of crows in the plascrete branches looked down on construction workers and merchants, trying to salvage what was left of their wares. The signs of the firefight were everywhere, visible as bloodstains and long scorches left by pulse weapons, as well as splintered holes from projectiles and grenades. She had missed Andy and the kids by 2 days. She had been in the habit of scanning the port manifests of every port she visited for a couple years now, and had experienced a moment of silent panic when Sunny Skies came up on the list, but she couldn't find where it had left. Later, while investigating the mass exodus of ships from Krunya, she had found a new light freighter named the Worry's End. It carried the same profile as Andy's ship, and she understood what had happened. The worker walked past her, giving her a weary look. Britt was dressed in
I'm
black
kind of into
armor as
teas,
sleek and supple as leather,
so I found
but with kinetic
black
hardening
tea,
capabilities. A
mixed it
low-slung
with
holster rested
some
on one hip,
red
carrying a
zinger,
projectile pistol that was against
raspberry
station
zinger,
mags. Strangely, no one seemed to
a
care.
little bit of honey.
Even after the recent fighting. That was the charm of Krumia. It never changed.
I love
even when it
herbal
really
teas.
should. A series of
I hate
throwing
that they're not
knives lined the small
caffeinated.
of her back, serving double duty as scallops in the armor. Her helmet hung from a clip on the other side of her belt. She'd cut her hair short,
But I don't
and it
like
stood out in spiky feathers on her head.
chemically or
Britt supposed she didn't look much different than one of the wiry crows
if it's
looking down from the
black
fountain.
tea, that's a whole different matter.
The armor was new. Well, new to Britt.
Which
And she was
this
glad to
is
have it while on a station
black
like
tea.
Krumia. Not only did it serve
stuff.
as an EV
Oh.
suit,
shut up.
but it also had additional antennae embedded within to boost her
I
loop
need some more
connectivity,
energy damage.
alongside signal scattering tech,
About 300 more
capable of
points.
hiding her from sensors. It had been designed for long-range
Go more
TSF
around
surveillance
and then we'll
operations
do
that
some
might involve clinging to the side of a ship
ballistic.
for days. There's nothing to be learned here, Britt thought as she turned from the station workers, soldiers, and merchants. Anything interesting has long since been cleaned up. Of course, if anything had been worth hiding, she knew exactly where it would be. She left Night Park and took a maglev down to the shopping promenade, where the Heartbridge Clinic, the same one she had bombed the year before, now stood with open doors, accepting a line of residents with various ailments or injuries from the battle. Britt took up a position near a bench and watched a mother with two little girls, probably 8 or 9, wondering how similar Tim might be to them. One of the girls seemed to
some good
already hold the weight
weather.
of the world in her eyes, while the other couldn't stop gambling around like a colt, swinging her arms and singing a random song. The mother carried herself with easy grace, laying a hand on the sad girl's
That's some
shoulder
good tea.
while tracking the wild girl with a smile. Britt's hand fell to the butt of her pistol, and she wondered what her own disconnect was, that she often took pleasure in her warrior's grace, but it felt so awkward around her own children. She pushed the thoughts away. She was here for a reason. The clinic was just a nerve point among many, in which Britt knew to have been a battle juggernaut, with a close combat capability rivaling the TSF's best squadrons. Britt took a spot in the line waiting to enter the clinic, a few people back from the mother with the girls. It soon became clear that the sad-looking girl was the reason they were waiting in line. The girl glanced at her once, eyes going wide at the sight of Britt's armor and weapon. Britt gave her a wink, but the girl only looked away quickly, and then got distracted when her sister pulled her hair. Apparently, seeing armed and armored figures was common enough on Krumia that the surprise didn't last long. Britt crossed her arms and looked out into the promenade, watching.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Yabba dabba, let's do this.
This is Clan Command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut down any enemies that get in the way.
Get to the target and cut it down. Capture any enemies that get in your way.
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
New target acquired. Artillery signal online.
Firing on beta.
don't forget, we still have to hold the center spot.
I'm hanging around.
I'm moving back towards you.
New target acquired. UAV activated. New target acquired. Artillery strike online. Warning incoming missile. New target acquired.
Move back.
Warning incoming missile.
Target spotted.
Warning incoming missile. AMS ammo at 25%.
Now I'm dead.
New target acquired.
Guys, I'm back up behind you. I'm sorry.
Warning incoming missile. Left torso critical damage. Insect destroyed. Left torso destroyed.
Oh, yeah. They ate my lunch.
She had come back to Konya because Heartbridge had suffered a confusing accident.
Let's see how the rest of this
In
plays
studying
out.
the flight manifests of ships leaving during the spaceflight that had led to Benevolent Hand's destruction, it had become clear that the whole thing had been a massive screening operation to hide something leaving the asteroid. What she couldn't see was what was being hidden. If she had learned anything about Heartbridge over the last 2 years, it would have something to do
Warning
with
incoming missile.
Heartbridge was much different from at least 10 other major corporations pursuing AI technologies. What made Heartbridge unique was they had the biological resources to create and maintain a place like Fortress 8221. After months of following logistical trails, the kind of things large corporations had difficulty hiding since they still needed valuable resources like fuel and food, she was nearly certain Heartbridge was responsible for 8221. While the knowledge wasn't much different than what she had known when she had left Andy on High Terra, she now understood how they had used plans to secure
Warning
their test
incoming
subjects.
missile.
How they had created extensive separation between their operation and the rest of their corporate activities, so that everything was wrapped in layers of deniability. She had proved her hypothesis, and now it was time to move forward. It had become certain Heartbridge had established a second development facility after the loss of 8221. For a long time, she thought it might have been hidden in the Benevolent Hand.
25%
Warning
of the
incoming
enemy moving up.
She was monitoring
incoming missile. Center torso critical damage. Warning incoming missile.
Enemy forces are
Warning incoming missile.
Your efforts here have been seriously disappointing. The enemy is victorious.
Looking directly
Good game,
at the
everyone.
nurse, whose eyes flashed with augments, knowing she was being recorded, but also trusting her armor to break up the recording's visual patterns, providing the visual of an entirely different person on any recordings. People at places like Heartbridge relied so much on mods and augmented reality that they barely looked at anything for 10 minutes. She was in one of the ceramic wall
Great
treatment rooms with a bored tech who didn't even make eye
Smoky
contact
Kush.
with her as he held out the data pad he
Guilty.
used to scan her knee. The tech looked up from his pad with a frown. "There's nothing wrong with your knee except a whole lot of scarring," he said. From her seated position on the ceramic bench,
Tried to live stream and chill,
the
but
tech neatly
nah,
on her chin,
nah.
snapping the back of his head against the wall.
YouTube doesn't want to do that
Crumpled to the
today.
floor, Data pad resting on
Facebook's
his
got
lap.
all these extra steps
What was it Andy
I gotta
used to
do.
say?
I just can't, like,
Our scars make us.
go.
He liked those kinds of
And
sentimental aphorisms, as if words made things real.
Totally
It
forgot
might
to
as well
make
have
a
been Charlie Sykes
a
talking
Twitch
through his
account
son.
just for
The smooth wall of the exam room
the
hid a
Absurd
sliding
Gamer.
door that gave way
'Cause
under
I
one of
think
Britt's
I have
covert
one.
security tokens.
but
She moved quickly down the revealed hallway.
I kind of don't want to use my
looking for the
personal
data center
one.
that should be located at the rear of the facility, if it followed standard Heartbridge design. During the last 2 years, Britt had spent a lot of time within Heartbridge facilities, learning their corporate lingo. She sometimes found herself admiring the thought they put into simple things, like space design. Every clinic followed the same basic patterns. A tech could serve nearly anywhere in the Sol system and perform their duties.
Oh yeah.
find
So I
files,
finally cashed
and know
in
where the
all my
restrooms were
supply
located.
crates.
A patient knew what to
If
expect every time.
you've seen any of my other
Even
videos,
their
you know I was
corporate
doing an
offices were made of
experiment
the same white ceramic that reminded her of an ancient surgery theater, ready to be sluiced clean of blood and any other.
to see if I could get a ultra rare to generate on a regular basis. Well, I got up to 8 of the things. Still didn't pop an ultra rare, so I'm gonna try it again, see what happens.
Biological embarrassments. Nothing stuck to surfaces at Heartbridge, which was an ideal that served as their corporate philosophy, in spirit, if not official doctrine. Britt smiled to herself. Andy would appreciate the metaphor. Britt turned a corner and was met with the reinforced door she expected. Accessing its administrative system, she bypassed the local control and pulled up a menu that only applied to remote access requests. In a minute, the seals released, and the door swung open to reveal the on-site data repository. Britt stepped inside and pulled the door closed behind her, enjoying the cool air in the server area. She didn't have much time before the tech ethos she knew applied to the Heartbridge Special Projects Division. After searching among various data sets, she found the channel she was looking for and leaned against the smooth wall as she started recording. Lists of supplies, loading manifests, employee schedules, and human resource requests ran across her link. She paused every minute or so to review some interesting bit of information, but let the rest fall into her storage banks. She would review all of it later, look for patterns and anomalies. The purpose of this breach.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Good
Reactor
evening.
online. Sensors online.
Something like that.
Weapons
This
online.
morning, somewhere in the world.
All systems normal.
Howdy.
Happy
Howdy.
24-hour cycle. Can't really say happy rotation because that doesn't sound any better.
Light C3.
Target acquired.
Take that, you little blackguard!
Artillery strike online.
Annie is not good for both, but it is good for the air. Just gonna go that much.
Whole
New
bunch of
target
C3.
acquired. New target acquired.
Annihilator, by the time you get done, already down one.
New target acquired.
Echo's getting ready to come through on our right.
New target
right up
acquired.
Here, Annihilator.
Firing on Echo.
New target acquired. Flag critical damage. Right torso critical damage.
It's too close.
LRM ammo destroyed.
Close.
Yep.
Die well, my friend.
Critical damage.
Damn, that thing had some guns on it.
Go for the big one.
No doubt. I think I have enough energy damage. So I think next I'm gonna work on knocking out the missile damage. 202. That was a poor showing. Artillery.
As with most of her investigations over the past year, was to find the location of the. She hoped the recent catastrophe on the Benevolent Hand would lead to a slip in their data security. Someone would speak out of emotion rather than care and reveal the location of the new lab. Or perhaps someone would complain about live shipments from some remote station, where human specimens could be found cheaply and without any concern over official inquiries. To aid in this search, Britt maintained a list of ongoing local conflicts throughout Seoul, waiting for the moment when Heartbridge would try to exploit a refugee crisis or some other similar situation where the value of human life approached zero. Britt had learned a few months ago that as long as she searched for the name Cal Kraft, she would find what she was looking for. He had recently been reassigned to the Benevolent Hand, but that hadn't changed his involvement in the Special Projects Division. The tap she had on the exam room's hidden door alerted her to an attempted breach a moment before a series of dull thuds echoed down the corridor. Britt accelerated her search, only looking at items which met her ideal parameters, anything that jumped out off the baseline. She paused on a fuel purchasing report. 5 cargo ships had been dispatched from Hytera, and 3 from Eros with invoices for twice the necessary amount of fuel to reach their stated destinations. The 2 leaving Eros had flight paths logged for Ceres, yet, as far as Britt knew, at least, Ceres was the one place Heartbridge didn't run clinics. What with the Anderson Collective controlling all corporate activity on the dwarf planet, Ceres was like the opposite world of Krunia, controlled by an autocratic corporate board for accomplishing great things like their mini black hole, while also limiting the population's access to the rest of Seoul. Not that anyone in the collective cared. They were part of the new project, as they liked to say. Britt quickly copied the manifest information from freighters, including registry and crew data, and logged off the data stream. She stood, stretched her sore shoulders, and pulled a mag grenade from a pocket in her armor. She set the grenade still and fixed it to the center of the server stack, then left the room, closing the ceramic door behind her. "Hey!" someone shouted. At the end of the hallway near the exam room entrance, 3 soldiers in iridescent body armor came around the corner. They knelt in firing positions and raised what looked like projectile rifles. Heartbridge had no apparent concern for station policies either. The hallway was a dead end on the data room. Britt spun to grab the door she had just closed. She managed to get behind it as a barrage of bullets struck the ceramic surface. Shards exploded off the door, filling the air with pale dust. Britt grabbed the helmet from her waist and pulled it over her head. The HUD immediately oriented itself and brought up battle statistics on the hallway, the weapons it identified, and the biosignatures on her attackers. Their armor appeared to have similar kinetic dampening capabilities as hers, so she could dump bullets on them all day with little effect. Reaching for 2 more grenades, Britt configured the devices for area concussion and tossed them for maximum bounce out into the narrow hallway. "Grenade!" someone shouted. She heard scuffling sounds on the other side of the door as the Heartbridge guards took cover. The grenades weren't intended for them, however. The 2 explosions radiated hard concussive waves, amplified within the narrow hallway. A heavy crash followed the explosions as the ceiling collapsed. Britt pushed the door open and found the hallway filled with dust and floating debris. Her HUD outlined the walls and floor, revealing the ceiling to be a mess of broken support systems and the maintenance passage all Heartbridge facilities had above this corridor. Using the walls, she kicked herself up into the maintenance shaft and scrambled away from the guards. Shouts behind her indicated they knew she had fled into the shaft. Her armor hardened across her lower stomach as she took fire from below. Britt threw herself forward in the dust-filled space, the only filthy part of Heartbridge's clinic. From her current position, the shaft only went deeper into the clinic. The sounds of the guards pushing through the debris in the hallway meant she was being followed and couldn't go back. Britt brought up the generic clinic schematics, praying this one didn't deviate, and took a left down the first intersection, then a right. The passage came to a dead end, with a pressure door beneath where she lay. Britt unlatched its fasteners and fell through, landing on the desk in the triage lobby. This time, the woman working the desk paid rapt attention, sputtering as Britt gave the room a quick scan. One of the women at the front gave a fearful gasp as Britt's helmeted head turned toward her and pulled a disinterested-looking boy close against her side. 3 people were carrying pulse weapons, and she suspected there would be another half-dozen chemical slug throwers in the crowd. This was Krunya, after all. Still, no one made an aggressive move. Guarded, cautious, fearful, yes, but no aggression. "Ma'am," the girl at the desk finally managed to articulate, "get off my desk." "Sorry," Britt said through her armor's speakers as she leapt off into a space that had cleared before her. "Got a bit lost back there. Place is like a maze with all the white." Britt strode out of the clinic and onto the promenade. She spared a glance over her shoulder, at the crowd milling about, at the woman at the desk trying to clean the debris, including the maintenance hatch, away so she could resume her work. Now that's unflappable. Then a Heartbridge soldier crashed through the opening and fell on the desk before rolling onto the woman. Good thing she's at a clinic, Britt thought as she double-timed it down the promenade. She had just made it 20 meters when the dull thud of the grenade she had planted in the clinic's data room exploded, the concussive blast echoing down the wide corridor. People all around her stopped to look toward the source of the sound. Britt glanced back so she wouldn't seem out of place. She was too far away now to make out the bored boy's new expression. Maybe watching something explode would have a formative effect on him, shake him out of his lethargy. Maybe that's what Tim would be like now, bored by the world, more interested in some pre-linked game he could play all the time that kept him staring into the distance, half aware of the world around him, a rat pouring a food bar for some entertainment company's promised reward. She didn't dwell on the thought as she pulled off her helmet, clipped it onto her belt once more, reached into her satchel, and pulled out a loose diaphanous green robe. She pulled it over her shoulders and drew the hood over her head, slowing her gait and moving through the crowd with deliberate calm. Her armor's dampening had done the trick. Though she wasn't masking her face, a pair of Heartbridge soldiers didn't even slow as they rushed past. Britt allowed herself a small smile of satisfaction. Any day she got to beard the dragon in its lair was a good one. Britt pulled up departure manifest schedules from the Port Authority's net. There weren't a lot of ships on Krunya at the moment, and none were going to High Terra, which was just as well. Unless she were to find a fast cutter, High Terra was weeks away. Eros, on the other hand, was close, nearing the aphelion of its orbit. Britt was worried there would be no ships headed there either. Eros wasn't exactly the sort of place people who stopped at Krunya traveled to. But 3 vessels had Eros logged as their next stop. Maybe some of the local thugs were going to try their hands at more legitimate trade after the latest dust-up. Either way, there was one departing in the next 3 hours. Just enough time for Britt to get to the docks and secure a berth. Chapter 2. Stellar date 09.13.2981. Adjusted years. Location, sunny skies. Region, approaching Mars. Martian Protectorate, Inner Sol. Kara had to protect her dad from these women. Fran had been the most prickly in the 2 weeks since the sunny skies had escaped Crumia within a swarm of pirate freighters. The technician's shining artificial eyes flashed green as she seemed to look through people to the systems all around her, focused on repairing the blown-up portions of the ship, its battered airlocks, the hobbled AI, even threatening to look into the comm system's bugs that made it possible for Kara to eavesdrop on linked conversations. Fran switched from hot to cold for what seemed like no reason, sometimes making herself angry in the time it took to explain how something was broken. Some days Fran couldn't get enough of their dad, Captain Andy Sykes, while other days she disappeared into the propulsion section and only grunted responses over the comm system. Petrel, on the other hand, had been sickly sweet in a way that made Kara uncomfortable. The leggy, dark-haired woman who called herself an operator, but who had seemed more like a mercenary during the fight to get off Crumia, asked questions about everything. She wanted to know about Tim's poetry book and which boys Kara liked. Blah. She wanted tours of their room, wanted to know what vids they liked, and all about Kara's choices in music. She couldn't get enough of watching their dad cook, even the dumbest things, acting like boiling water was the height of human technology, while Fran acted like their dad annoyed her endlessly, creating this sort of crackling back and forth every time they were in the same room. Petrel formed a vortex. She drew people toward herself and got them to say things they didn't intend to say, while maintaining eye contact with her striking blue gaze as she tucked her black hair behind an ear, nodding seriously. Fran fixed and corrected things directly, with her hands and brain, while Petrel hardly seemed to do anything but still accomplish tasks, getting others to do the work for her. Even Kara had fallen under Petrel's spell, giving up the complete timeline of her parents' relationship and her mother's disappearance 2 years ago, without realizing what she was doing. It wasn't until Petrel had asked her the exact name of the neighborhood where her grandparents had lived on High Terra that Kara felt herself surface from the dream of Petrel's focused attention, realizing with a shock she had said more than she should have. She didn't know why she felt the need to hang on to seemingly trivial information, except that it was hers.
Apparently,
a stranger to have it. The third
don't need any other mech right now.
Alyssa, the AI. There were times when her dad, looking lean and worn like he usually did, couldn't seem to shake the distracted expression that meant he was locked in a
see if I can
conversation
change around some skill
or
points.
argument with the ghost Dr. Harry Jixon had implanted in his head. Kara had tried
Or
to
do
imagine
I
what
even
it might
need
be
to?
like to have another consciousness in her mind. Lying in the dark when she was supposed to be asleep, listening to her little brother's even breathing, she would close her eyes and let herself drift, feeling for the edges of the dark behind her eyelids. How loud could she yell without using her voice? It was lonely to think of her mind as something trapped in the dark, experiencing the world through the filters of her senses. But that dark was hers. Anything she could imagine there belonged to her. How frustrating would it be to never have that space, her mind, her thoughts, all to herself again? Dr. Harry Jixon was dead, but Kara couldn't help worrying that he was still carrying out the experiment, the same one that had created Alyssa on her dad, and there was no way of knowing how it would turn out. What if he went crazy? What would she do then? Sitting at the comm station, watching the spectrum analyzers dance and spark, she couldn't stop thinking about how much their lives had changed in such a short time. Everything had developed confusing layers that required constant remembering. Even sunny skies, which had been her home as long as she could remember, now had a new name, Worry's End, which they only had to remember to use if contacted by outsiders. With 2 new crew members on board, she'd found herself weighed down by the stress of trying to understand what people really meant when they talked. Conversations and statements often seem to carry double meanings.
Alright.
Asking about the engines could be a question about the low-spin syndicate on Krunya. Questions about what kind of music she liked was an effort to figure her out and manipulate her somehow. Kara wasn't used to the feeling of distrust. She hated it. She was learning to hate secrets. She thought about the pulse pistol she had hidden in the hydroponic room, buried in a drawer full of tubing and root cups. She'd found it behind a plas panel down near Airlock 1 while helping Fran with repairs. It was a Terran Space Force model, engraved with serial numbers and dummy guides, as her dad liked to say, indicating the lock status and charge levels. Her pistol was full. Twice now, she'd slipped off to hide in the old hydroponic garden and hold the pistol just like her dad had shown her during the fight on Krunya, gripping the weapon in both hands in front of her, placing her finger on the trigger, and looking down the sights to find some mass. Whenever she talked to the truck, she did her best not to think about the pistol. Something about the woman's insistent blue eyes made her worry
I hate
she
this
would give up
map.
her secret without even meaning to. She had abruptly become aware, especially after Harry Jixon's strange performance in her and Tim's room, that adults wanted things. It seemed like a stupid realization, but all she could remember thinking about before was how her parents were going to take care of her and Tim. Not that they had desires and emotions of their own. Now so want. And did she even care that she was causing Kara's dad so much turmoil? Everyone had said they were going to Proteus, a moon of Neptune. But did Lissa even want that? What if Lissa never wanted to leave her dad's head? Then nothing would ever be the same again. Everything had changed, and she couldn't remember exactly when the change had happened. It seemed like a trick life had played on them. Even worse than Mom leaving. The floor had slipped, like there had been a sudden change in gravity. Only she didn't know how to adjust her weight.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems
Afternoon?
nominal.
Command to all warriors on the surface. Your task is to wipe away all hostiles. Show no mercy.
I've come to dance. I understand our dance partners are on the other side of that mountain. I say we go over there and politely ask them to tussle.
Not somewhere else other than that mountain. Same spot, same thing, same thing every time.
Artillery strike online.
Whoa.
Target acquired. New target acquired. Artillery strike online.
first time I ever saw one of them do that. Normally, they don't fall over like that.
Artillery strike online. Acquired.
We're half down! Don't let the hostiles take down any more of you!
Artillery strike activated.
Yup. That was bad ouchie poos. I really don't like this map all this much. As compared to the last one they introduced. I don't know. Tell you what, I'm definitely liking the last one better now.
Those were natural changes. They happened all the time.
Technology.
This was more subtle and insidious, though she couldn't tell exactly how. Across the command deck display, moving bits of light around that represented potential stops after they left the Mars 1 ring. His shoulders were a tense line. The path between stops flashed for a second like a jagged claw of lightning, then faded as he wiped the info and leaned back, sighing. He caught Kara looking at him and forced a smile. "Can't make a plane without cargo," he said. "So I'm just spinning my wheels. You picking anything up from Mars yet?" "Lots of things," Kara said. "You want to hear some dance music?" "Dance music? Do Marsians dance?" Kara grinned at his goofy smile. "I think at least 1 in 100 million Marsians dance." "No, that was just someone having a seizure. You need a sense of humor to dance. And no one on Mars has a sense of humor." "Dad," she scolded, "you can't generalize about a whole planet. It's kind of weird to even say Marsians, like they're one group of people." "I'm old. That's what I do. There's a reason this is the first time you'll be visiting Mars." "I thought you wanted to live on Mars before you and Mom got sunny skies." Andy waved a hand, still staring into the holo display. "I was young and foolish back then." "Like me, huh?" "Like you? No. You don't know any better yet. I knew better, but was trying to convince myself otherwise. That's a whole different kind of foolish." Andy spun the holo display and zoomed in. The first point on the flight plan grew in front of him until the blue-green orb of Mars filled most of the display. Fast and relatively close to the terraformed planet. There had been a second moon once, Dymas, but it was gone now, ground up for construction material along with Mercury and other material from the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. "Everything is moving," she mused, watching as the Mars outer shipyards came into focus, a haze at the outside edges of the Mars One ring. She knew Mars One was 1,600 kilometers wide and more than 100 kilometers thick, giving it nearly 30 times the usable landmass as Terra once all the levels were filled up. But it still looked so fragile in the display. As her dad continued to zoom in, now pulling up potential docking points and scrolling through their fee schedules, what had seemed tiny from a distance
Reactor online.
became overwhelming.
Sensors
The scale of it
online.
was hard to hold in a...
Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Except for the pilot.
Plan command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut down any enemies that get in the way.
Night vision helps in certain parts of this map.
We held the zone for 25%.
Artillery
spotted.
strike online.
We're all coming down in line from G5 into
Halfway there.
G6.
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Charlie, can.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Artillery strike online.
Echo.
New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Hotel.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Critical. New target acquired.
Hotel's almost gone.
Heat level critical. Ammo depleted. Target destroyed. Target
Delta.
acquired.
Delta's taking a bounty. He's a lunch card. Right leg is almost gone. Nice job. Juliet. Scratch that. Indigo, indigo.
Target spotted.
He's isolated.
Incoming missile. Target destroyed.
Victory is within our grasp.
Target acquired.
Nice job. Thank you. Bravo.
Heat sink destroyed.
Warriors, you have taken the target. We are
Woo.
victorious in battle.
Good game. I just realized out of the corner of my eye, they were both dead stick coming straight at me. Damn, that's not bad for damage. Not bad on team score either. Not perfect, but I've done much worse.
We should be getting a query anytime now. They were still a day away from Mars 1, but had been in Mars Protectorate space for 4 days at least. She knew her dad was dreading the eventual scrutiny from the local military forces, who probably were excited about the flood of ships from Krunia. Kara glanced at the spectrum again, flicking through various bands and wavelengths. They were surrounded by communications all the time, but at the moment none of it was directed specifically at them. Nothing yet, she said. I picked up a cool old vid channel I'd been recording. We could watch it later. Mention of we seemed to remind her dad about Tim. She wasn't surprised when the next thing he asked was, "Where's your brother?" "I think he's in his room. Or he might have gone somewhere with Betrell. She said she was going to make something to eat. Betrell made it clear she doesn't cook." Kara shrugged. "Get something in the kitchen then. He loves following her around. Maybe she'll make him cook something. That would be a sight," Andy said, getting drawn into the dock advertisements again. From what Kara had overheard, they had plenty of money from Ingobastaro, the gangster on Krunia with the curly beard and bow ties. As her father frowned at prices, she figured it wasn't because he was cheap, but because he couldn't let go of the idea that they were aimed directly at them. As Andy had expected, it was the Mars Protectorate. "Dad, She called. "We've got a message." "That'll be Mars One Customs," he muttered, turning off the holo-display. "I guess our vacation is over." He stood slowly, stretching, then walked over to her console to stand behind her with his hands on the back of her chair. Kara liked that he didn't push her away from the console. He let her navigate the menus to the message, teasing her when she fat-fingered the commands as he watched. "Worry's End," a thin voice said. "This is First Lieutenant Kurta of the Hellas Planitia."
Hello, hello.
Reactor online.
That sounds
Sensors
British.
online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Command to all warriors on the surface. Your task is to wipe away all hostiles. Show no mercy.
I hate that they took out the big good luck dish.
Artillery strike online.
It was like this weird ass tradition. Like every time anybody played this map, you'd always see them lasers into that one dish on the side. Everybody did it. I think somebody told me once it was for luck. Somebody else said it was because, well, everybody else did it. Watch me get my teeth kicked in. Watch it. I'll go around that corner and somebody will pop me. Really?
Target acquired.
Oh. They's over this way.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, what?
Target spotted.
Artillery strike online. Target acquired. Center torso critical damage. Heat sink destroyed. Target destroyed.
75%.
That is what I'm talking about.
Target acquired. New target acquired. Torso critical damage. New target acquired.
kitty?
LRM ammo depleted.
Of course. Well, at least I got him with the last round. And now I get to step out and die.
The enemy has started to chip away at us. Stay frosty.
I should have dropped artillery on him. There I go, falling off the edge again.
Airstrike online. New target acquired.
I need more ammo on here.
Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile. Airstrike online. Warning, incoming missile. Heat level critical. Warning, incoming missile. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Looks
Good
like
kill.
only half of the enemies remain.
Target acquired. Airstrike online. New target acquired. Left torso critical damage.
Oh, that was
New
beautiful.
target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed.
All remaining.
Good kill.
The cowards.
New target acquired. Heat level critical. Warning, incoming missile. Ultra autocannon destroyed. Left torso destroyed. Ultra autocannon ammo destroyed. Left arm destroyed. Right torso critical damage.
Target spotted.
Center torso critical damage.
No.
Right torso destroyed. Right arm destroyed. LRM ammo destroyed.
The
LRM
hostiles are
destroyed.
eradicated. Bask in
Good
the
game,
glory of
everybody.
your triumph.
A solo kill. Most damage. Killing blow. 7 kill assist. 548 in damage. 1 component. Scouting. Brawling. Nice. What's my team score? Team score. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah.
You had been randomly prior to your approach to Mars 1. You are to transmit your crew list and manifest information immediately. Failure to comply with this directive will result in reactive measures up to and including boarding and preemptive attack. Do you understand this directive? Her dad blew out a long breath. You remember that vid we watched, where the gorillas smacked their chests at each other? I said. Kara nodded. That's what this is. Only we're not a gorilla. Or more like a squirrel. Or rabbits, Kara corrected, referencing their old joke. Andy smiled despite the worry on his face. That's right, he said. Rabbits. He reached over her shoulder to tap the console. Hellas Planitia, he said. This is Captain Andy Sykes of the Worry's End. I have received your directive and will comply shortly. We left Krunya in a hurry due to unrest there, so I'm not carrying any cargo. Understood, Captain Sykes, the lieutenant responded. We're monitoring that situation. Send your crew data. Andy opened his mouth to speak, then stopped himself. He closed the channel. I almost said it was just you, me, and Tim, he told Kara. We've got 2 other people I need to worry about. I thought they were helping to worry about us, Kara said. He smirked at her joke. Jury's still out on that, kiddo, he said. Kara nodded inwardly. At least her dad seemed to share her unease at all the change, although she wouldn't have forgotten Fran and Petrel. She couldn't stop thinking about them. What about Lissa? She asked. Do you have to declare her as part of the crew? A surprised look flattened his face. That's an excellent question.
Could just downgrade one of the launchers.
Even more worried now. Chapter 3. Stellar date 07.26.2980. Adjusted years. Location: Heartbridge Corporate HQ, Raleigh. Region: High Terra, Earth. Terran hegemony, Inner Soul. 1 year ago. The Bridge Corporation didn't use flashy logos. Most people barely knew the corporation had its headquarters on High Terra. Their clinics across Sol were all clean white boxes with frosted glass, devoid of name or explanation, sometimes appearing like mushrooms overnight. Everyone knew what they were and how much they cost. Off a promenade near the administration district in Raleigh, capital of the Terran hegemony, the entrance to the Heartbridge headquarters was a simple white vestibule where visitors waited for a full body scan and appointment verification. Cal Kraft stood in the plain white lobby as the receptionist spoke to the woman in a blue suit in front of him. The woman looked like a flower on a snowfield. He liked the clean lines of the room, the obvious attention to furniture placement and overall order. Everything was made of a white ceramic material, a sort of flowing tile, with very few actual corners. There were only 2 doors, the entrance he had come through, and an inset door behind the receptionist's white block desk. He'd half expected to find drains in the floor, where the room could be sluiced clean like a surgery. I have an appointment, the woman in blue said. I'm sorry, said the receptionist, a young man with purple-red hair and green eyes, a humanizing touch in the sterile room. Your appointment has been rescheduled. Would you like me to send you the information via link? No, I don't want the information. I've been waiting for this appointment for 3 weeks. The board can be difficult to schedule, the young man said. I'm sure they appreciate your patience. Cal watched the woman's body language as she fumed. She clenched her fists, and the tension went through her shoulders and down her back. He glanced at the receptionist, sitting below the woman, and visualized the several scenarios that might play out. Cal was disappointed when the woman didn't grab the receptionist's head to try and break his neck, and instead wheeled around, surprised to find Cal standing behind her. Her blue eyes met his for a second, flaring, before she stalked past him, heels clicking harshly on the polished floor. Cal moved his gaze to the receptionist, who was already assuming a neutral expression as he stared into a screen in the surface of his desk. How can I help you? The young man asked as Cal stepped toward him. My name is Cal Kraft. I have an appointment. The receptionist smiled, showing square white teeth. Of course, Cal Kraft. Your path is through the doorway and into the meeting room. The doorway behind him slid open as he explained. Thanks, Cal said. He walked through the open door and stepped into a gleaming white hallway, everything clean and sterile, ready for the next patient. Cal wasn't afraid of heat. He'd spent his childhood among the remains of Mercury, working a mining rig with Sol raging overhead and ever-present protest beacons screaming about the death of a planet. He didn't like to be cold. His nightmares about burning to death, alone in a failing EV suit with Sol roiling above him, had eventually become a sort of comfort. Even if the planet was gone, Mercury remained a forge. He had survived one of the most
Hello.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
Pilot
systems
questionable.
nominal.
This is Clan Command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut down any enemies that get in the way.
Target area is so far away on this map.
Dan been playing a lot of domination tonight.
Artillery strike online.
Oh, have we got this one that can get
25%.
tackled?
Do not let the enemy keep it up.
Tumbleweed's probably in there already.
Enemy forces are halfway there. The enemy is 75% of the way to victory. Shut them down.
The UAV
Target
out
acquired.
in I-9. This one. Step.
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted.
Warning, incoming missile.
Probably was Tumble.
Warning, incoming missile.
Target spotted.
Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile.
Target
Target
spotted.
acquired.
Target spotted.
Warning, target acquired.
Where is the fucking rest of the enemy?
New target acquired. Incoming missile. New target acquired. New target acquired. Warning, incoming missile. Critical damage. Center torso. Incoming missile.
Didn't even think to look behind me. Totally forgot the rest of those guys were up there.
They might as well change that to a laser one.
Places in
You don't run out of it.
so
Maybe.
close to
New target acquired.
that it would become as angry
Right torso critical damage.
and resembled the
They
reception
got an
space. That's as though the walls were gone. The doors were
Override engaged.
he called when Cal
That Mauler's not going to do anything.
Very good of you to come.
Target spotted.
Please, have a seat.
He's DC.
I think he's linked as.
Right arm critical damage. Warning. Right arm destroyed.
Square chin, olive skin, and warm
He had a cool shot as well.
He looked like a doctor in an advertisement. A fount of knowledge and a comforting bedside manner.
Negative.
The man said, I've been assigned to
Target acquired.
Need assistance.
intake. He asked. I thought I'd been invited to Selig cleared his throat.
Warning incoming
Sure, I
missile.
think it's a good offer, but the decision is still yours. I'd like to hear more about it. The only thing your recruiting person mentioned was security work. I do more than security work. Selig spread his hands. Tell me what you do, Mr. Kraft. You were about to describe the position, Cal said.
But
though
still
Selig
going
hadn't said
to
anything about
going
it.
into H9.
That's why I'm here. I don't want to interrupt you. A slight smile.
Warning incoming missile.
Absolutely. We need a specialist to oversee security
New
for one of our
target
special
acquired.
projects divisions. We've been investing heavily in research and development for the last 5 or so
Target
physical cycles.
acquired.
And some of those are
Incoming
to
missile.
You all need to move off that
just as
bridge.
those projects are aligning with other endeavors.
Behind you guys.
Increased
So we
in
can shut them
various
down.
areas of operation. The board is concerned we may be exposed
Warning,
to risks in
incoming
some
missile.
areas. They would like a consultant, like yourself,
Still up
to
there.
assess
You've got low
these
signal.
exposures and take necessary measures to secure our
There
assets.
he is.
You're telling me you don't already have security?
Watch the smoke. He's gone left. He's gone right.
I would expect
Higgs' legs have got to be paper thin at this point.
Silic continued to smile with his eyes, which made him difficult to read. Of course, however, a recent failure in our security highlighted a need to seek outside assistance. One of our most important facilities was raided. We lost years of research.
You come right on the
As of
right-hand
now,
side.
we've suffered no effect to our brand.
Yes. Everything
New target acquired.
Intellectual property might find its way to the open market.
It's gonna stay on
So
you guys
soon
on there.
anyone who tries to sell a check into the movie. Cal said. Raids happen.
Good kill.
Damage. LRA destroyed.
He leaned back in his chair and stretched his shoulders. He asked. Not much. What do they say about artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I knew that
It was worth
that
the damn
thing
to
was
be a
tumbleweed.
sword who would kill us all. Eyes creeping. He pointed at Cal. I like that. I'm going to use that in the next board meeting. Silic
Your efforts here have been seriously disappointing.
Good game, everybody.
Victorious.
That the raid Silic was talking about had been carried out by the Terran Space Force itself. Even the TSF, an organization not known for hyperbole,
most damage?
except in its
Wow.
recruiting material, had called the facility a horror. Grunts called the place Fortress 8221. Cal knew it was only one of nearly 20 such locations. That's what the TSF should be calling a horror. Not the facilities themselves, but their administration, the organization capable of conceiving. Yeah. But he couldn't recall a project on this scale. Of course, he wasn't an historian. He required violence to achieve goals. The thought of himself as an historian made Cal. Was something I said amusing? Silic asked. Not at all. It's very interesting to me. Silic had been in the middle of saying something about digital circuits that function with the same properties as analog, capable of spectrum responses rather than binary. These spectrum circuits had been discovered nearly 1,000 years ago, but remained unexploited until recently. Silic leaned forward over the desk, hands spread in front of him and a zealot's fire in his eyes. We had the technology, the garden bed, you could say, but we couldn't get anything to grow. Cal wondered if he was actually speaking to the head of the project. If that were true, he could kill Silic right here and save a lot of people a lot of trouble. He could reach out and grab either side of the doctor's head and pull it off his neck. Cal considered the idea as Silic talked. We needed a model, something to base our starts on in order to properly direct the cortex growth. This isn't replication. This is birth. The models all failed in test. We needed unique starting material. We needed seeds. There it was, the abstract term these people were using for children. They needed subjects with established world orientation strong enough to bear the weight of the instruction matrix, but lacking the identity constraints which would limit compliance. Silic's use of words like identity constraints and instruction matrix made Cal wonder what kind of advanced torture they used. He would be interested to see the process, if possible. He would need to, if he was truly going to secure this work against the outside world. He would need to know what the people carrying out this research were made of, from the lowest tech to the lead scientist. Did they use the same abstract language in order to deny themselves any true knowledge of what they were doing? People who raised their hands and sing when the TSF arrived. He would need to make a plan to liquidate those kinds of people, and that would have a limiting effect, as Silic might
Could
say,
put in a heavy
on
laser.
brand value. So the kids, Cal said, cutting Silic off in mid-sentence.
Yeah,
Or
but I
the
hate the
seeds,
cycle rate
as
on
you've
those
been
things.
saying. Where do you get them? Silic pulled his head back, apparently surprised by the question. He worked his jaw. I'm not involved with that portion of the project. Subjects are attained, sorted, and transitioned to the appropriate facilities to accommodate the necessary aspect of the project. Cal waved a hand, tired of listening already. So does it work? The intelligence? Yes, the AI. Silic flashed a secretive grin. Better than anything in the last 200 years. It's amazing. They're amazing. We have truly bred a new intelligence separate of us. Cal considered those words. What are you gonna do with all these AI? Oh, the practical applications are endless. Truly reasoning AI could solve so many problems for humanity. We've had non-sentient AIs for, 900 years? Cal asked. Humans are still cheaper. Hell, people pay Heartbridge to help them make more humans. Selick wiped his forehead, still smiling. It's a bit like art, isn't it, Calcraft? If I can't explain its utility, then what use does it have, right? Not necessarily. Say you're stuck in a can somewhere. No greenery. Nobody else to look at. Nothing but the big dark on the outside. Art serves a very real use there. Helps you remember you're human and not an animal. You think AIs are going to serve the same purpose? No, that's not what I'm saying. Look, we've strayed very far from where I wanted this conversation to go. I can see you're a very deliberate, very literal man. I think you could do this project a lot of good. It's apparent we've entered a critical stage and need to elevate our security program. Based on your work for SolGov, I think you could do that for us. The pay is generous, and you'll find we have an excellent benefits package. Of course, there's a lot of travel involved, but I don't see anything about you having family concerns. Cal gave him a slight smile. That's true. Selick stood, straightened his suit, and extended a hand. So what do you say? Cal couldn't deny the money Heartbridge offered was better than anything he had ever considered. He could spend 5 years on their payroll and retire to a ranch on Terra, Mars, or even stake a little station somewhere out in JC and never want for anything. Was that what he wanted, though? To not want? Without meaning to, the train of thought evoked Mama Trish asking, You hungry, Cal? You hungry? Making the word sound like he should be ashamed for being alive. Asking how he had earned the right to want anything. Out on the mining rig, everything was earned. Would these new things, these true AI, be as cruel to each other as humans? Would they survive if they weren't? What was cruelty anyway, but a value judgment? Like Mama Trish said, you either got a job done or you didn't. There wasn't anything cruel about survival. Cal's earlier desire to tear off Rodri Silick's head hadn't abated. He considered the difference between curiosity and cruelty for a microsecond, watching as the executive stood and extended his hand in a final gesture meant to assume the sail, to force Cal's compliance. Was it cruel to satisfy curiosity?
Damn it.
Artificial intelligence as a concept was practical. Once the idea had been conceived, it had to be made real. Like yearning to fly or to escape the bounds of Terra. Obviously, Selick wasn't the kind of man who considered consequences.
Stuff.
Cal Craft, on the other hand, dealt entirely in cascading effects. People did what they were trained to do. He applied consequences like violence or pain to achieve goals. He wasn't cruel. He understood how humans worked. The question was, how would these new AI operate? Had Silic even thought about consequences? Humanity had yet to discover anything alien, so it was going to make its own aliens. Damn the consequences. That line of questioning was interesting enough to make Cal push his chair back to stand and take the offered hand. He nodded. I'm on board. Great. Silic said. Just great. I can't wait to show you the primary facility. It's going to blow your mind, Calcraft. It's going to amaze you. We're truly living in the future. Silic waved a hand and a door opened to Cal's left, in what had been a seamless wall. This way, please, Silic said. We'll need to get the employment tokens and all that other stuff out of the way. I'm not in human resources. They can handle that. I want to talk about the timeline. The sooner we can get you off High Terra, the better. Sounds good, Cal said, glancing at Silic's thin neck. He pushed down his constant urge to break it. Chapter 4. Stellar date 09.13.2981. Adjusted years. Location, sunny skies. Region, approaching Mars. Mars Protectorate, Inner Sol. Watching the request protocol stream across the comm display, Andy quickly ran through the various scan methods available to a Mars Protectorate frigate, or at least what he could remember. When he had been assigned to anti-piracy patrols with the TSF, the level of scrutiny applied to any given ship depended mostly on 3 factors: what scan tech was available, how much time he had, and how much he gave a damn. Kira, Andy said, I'm going to talk to Fran and Petrel about what might happen if the Protectorate finds out they're on board. I want you to strike up a conversation with Lieutenant Kurta. Her eyes grew wide. You want me to do what? Andy waved a hand. You know, tell him you're curious about Mars. Ask him if they found any fossils, that kind of thing. What if that makes him mad? Why would it make him mad? You ever want to get someone talking, you ask them where they're from. Your Grandpa Charlie did it every time. They'll either start telling you all about it, or start complaining. Either way, you keep them talking. She gave him a dubious look, then turned slowly back to the comm display. Kara entered the query address for Hellas Planitia, rechecking the sequence when her first request came back with a null response. Finding her mistake in 2 transposed numbers, she sent the query a second time. The audio feed hung empty for a few seconds, followed by the token handshake and a voice saying, MPS Hellas Planitia, comm section, Lieutenant Kurta. Kara said, staring ahead like her mind had gone abruptly blank. Andy put a hand on her shoulder in encouragement. This is the Worries End, Kurta pressed. Who am I speaking to? Send station ID. Andy squeezed Kara's shoulder, silently urging her to speak. This is Kara Sykes, she said finally. I called to talk to you. Crackling filled the audio as Kurta didn't answer. Kara continued, visibly forcing herself. I wondered where you're from. Who is this? The lieutenant demanded again, sounding uncertain. The strain on Kara's face settled into resolve as Andy watched her figure out what to say. He wanted to grin at her, but kept his gaze steady. I'm Kara Sykes. I'm 12. I live on the Worries End. I don't get to talk to other people very often, and I thought you might talk to me. I've always been curious about Mars. I've never been able to talk to someone who's actually from there. Are you from Mars? Kara's voice sped up, losing its tentative quality. Andy smiled inwardly as Kara leaned toward the console, in control of herself now. Well, Kurta said. Andy imagined the young man checking from side to side at his console, making sure he wasn't being watched by a superior officer. Sure, I'm Marsian. I grew up true south of Olympus Mons. I've seen pictures of Olympus Mons, Kara said. Is it true the peak of the mountain is outside your atmosphere? That's true, Kurta said. There's an observatory up there. I went there once. You did? It wasn't much different than being in a ship, really. Kara flashed a mischievous grin. Olympus is one of the few places that's still got original red rock, right? I saw a picture where it was sticking up out of the clouds. It looked like a giant zit. Andy was surprised as Kurta blew out a laugh. Some Marsians treated Olympus Mons like a god. Well, the lieutenant said, When we train there for low atmosphere, we call it the nipple. It's pink at the base. He cut himself off. Andy wondered if he had remembered he was talking to a 12-year-old girl. Anyway, the protectorate officer said, "It's beautiful. You should certainly visit if you ever get the chance." "What was the name of your town?" Kara asked. "Smith Spring," he said. "Was there really a spring there?" Carter laughed. No. If something Marzian doesn't have the original Latin name, it's got something hopeful. If it was named during the terraforming project anyway. "I don't think I could ever visit," Kara said. "I'd have to practice for the gravity." "Where are you from then?" the lieutenant asked. "Your accent sounds like Terran." "My dad's from Earth."
Oh, itchy, itchy.
"I guess I sound like him."
Alright,
Says your dad was
let's
in the
try
TSA.
this.
Kara shot Andy a worried look, and he nodded, letting her know it was a normal question, a safe topic for her to talk about. He was. He was a pilot and a soldier. He did anti-piracy. He says part of the time he was just a dumb bus driver, taking soldiers from one place in Inner Soul to another. Carter laughed. "I'm gonna use that the next time I run into the TSF. I show a Brit Sykes on your crew register too. Is that your mom?" "Yes," Kara said, voice growing soft. "She's not here anymore." "Oh," Carter said, seeming to catch the sad note in her voice. "Sorry about that. It can be tough out here in the big dark. My dad calls it rabbit country. It's like a desert where everything's just trying to stay alive. We've got a bunch of rabbits in Smith Spring. Some early colonists snuck them over. They sure seem to be doing all right there." "But everything wants to eat them," Kara said. "Have you eaten rabbit?" "Well, yes," the lieutenant admitted. "What was your house like? Do you still live there?" Andy squeezed Kara's shoulder again to let her know she was doing fine. "Why did you make her talk to the enemy ship?" Lissa asked. The AI could infer his emotional state from his autonomic response. They called themselves Weapon-Born. For the safety of his family and ship, he wasn't sure he wanted to know any more than that. "Weren't you listening?" he asked. "I need time to talk to Fran and Patrell. And if we're lucky, he might just let us through without scanning the coordinates." "Why would he do that?" "Perceived friendship, boredom, not wanting to subject the nice little girl to the whims of a protectorate SF boarding team. Any number of reasons. It doesn't hurt to try being a little human once in a while."
Really am liking this series too. I got to it because I stumbled across Rika's Marauders. Yeah. Good series. Should really check it out sometime.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
All systems nominal.
This is Clan Command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut
Yeah, I
down any
said
enemies that get in the way.
I'm gonna cut down every enemy that gets in the way. Kia!
Artillery strike
Let the enemy
online.
keep it up.
I kind of want to let the enemy eat cake. What am I stuck on? Glitching graphics, that's what I'm stuck on.
Target acquired.
Our first catch of the day. Of nothing.
spotted. Target spotted.
No bueno.
New target acquired. New target acquired. UAV activated. New target acquired. New target acquired. Artillery strike online. New target acquired.
Come on, one more time. Get off the wall. Get up here.
New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired. Target acquired. Artillery strike activated. New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired.
Salt, get off the wall and get in the fight.
New target acquired.
Mahler, join the fight.
Target acquired.
Stop hiding in the back.
Target destroyed.
Smoke.
Tricky little bugger.
Target acquired. destroyed. Left leg destroyed.
Let me get that looks bang, powers bang.
Warriors, you have taken the target. We are victorious in battle.
I forgive you.
You are forgiven.
Killing blow, 9 kill assist, most damage 506. Scouting, surviving. Who done it? Got the little locust. Blew off my leg in the process. Where is me? 377, not bad. Ooh, is it? Whew. Telling you, more and more I play with this thing, the more and more I like this. Did not like it at first. For years and years I have overlooked this mech and just didn't even think a daggum thing about it.
You mean trying to talk your way out of something? If that's what you want to call it, I'll take it. You seem to call it being like Grandpa Charlie. Is that what everyone calls being human? No, Andy said. That's a family saying. And I'm not family, so I shouldn't use it. Well, you know what it means. That's a lot more than anybody else. Is Rabbit Country the same way? What use is it to me to learn your family's own weird language?
Awesome.
Andy sighed.
I got the mech.
You're probably right, Lissa. There's no good reason other than to know what we're talking about. Most of what you say to each other is meaningless emotional reassurance. Emotional reassurance isn't meaningless. It's a scary world out there. We're in the middle of scary stuff. We don't have any choice but to keep going, so we use meaningless emotional reassurance to get it done. I'm pretty sure you feel emotions too. Why should I? Well, you're annoyed by all this, right? Yes, Lissa exclaimed. Would you rather be back inside that canister where Jixon had you in storage? No, she admitted. And I'm not going to put you back there, Andy said. There you go. Meaningless emotional reassurance. That's not meaningless. You're not lying, are you? The truth is, I wouldn't know how to put you back, even if I wanted to. And the one guy who knew how is dead. Dr. Jixon is dead, Lissa said, voice going flat. You knew that, Lissa. We've known for weeks. Yes, she said. There was a pause as she grew quiet. Andy didn't know how to explain the feeling, but she seemed to go away for a heartbeat. He was able to turn his attention back to Kara, who was grinning at the comms desk in a way he hadn't seen before. Kurta was telling her a story about his school.
I think I'll play around with it.
Tried to catch a goat during class. Kurta's voice had lost all professional stiffness. Now he was a young man, excited to tell a
just
story.
8 energy.
The distant quality of Kara's smile made her look almost infatuated. She was oblivious as Andy stared at her, studying her responses. I didn't remember. Lissa's voice shocked him back into the present. He blinked, looking away from Kara just as she burst out laughing at Kurta's story. You forgot? No. It's like I didn't know until you mentioned it. Then I knew it again. I didn't miss him, and then I did. It's terrible. Yes, Andy said. Grief is like that. You think you're past it, and then it crashes back down on you. This is how you feel about Britt. Maybe. I don't know what you're feeling exactly. Look, I should call Fran and Petrel. I don't know how much longer Kira can entertain the lieutenant. He seems to be entertaining her. Right. Anyway, we'll talk about Jixon later, all right? All right, she said. The unexpected sadness in her voice made Andy add, "It's good to feel that way, though. Really, it's good to feel, and it's good to talk about it. I'm not going to let you grieve alone unless you want to." "You don't share your grief about Britt with anyone else?" "It's different with the kids. If there was someone else I could talk to, I guess I would." "You could talk with Fran. You copulate with her." Andy cleared his throat. "I've asked you not to use that word." "It's a fitting word." "Whatever. I'm starting to think you do have a sense of humor, Lissa. It's not polite to tease me like that when I'm trying to be real with you. It's almost like you're deflecting." "Animals copulate," she said. "Humans are animals. I think it's definitely the correct word." Andy ignored her. He switched to the general shipnet. "Fran, Petrel," he said. "We've been pinged by the Protectorate SF. They want a crew list. Is there any reason I shouldn't give them your names? If I lie and they do a scan, we're getting boarded for sure." Fran came back immediately. "Give them my info. I don't have anything to hide. If they want to know why I'm leaving Crunya, I'll talk to them myself. I filed business records back there, so it's all in the system if they want to look it up." "Thanks," Andy said. Fran continued to prove herself reliable and self-reliant. She'd also saved Sunny Skies from the scrap heap on Crunya and repaired the damage to Airlock 1 after Xanda's final attack. She also seemed to like Andy for some reason, which he still hadn't figured out. "Not happening," Petrel said, cutting into his reverie. "I don't exist on Crunya. I'm not about to get picked up by Marzian systems on some random freighter. I was never supposed to be here." "You got any options for me?" Andy said. "An alias, maybe?" "Tell them I'm your wife. She's already on the registry, right?" Andy chewed his lip. The pretense might have worked if Kira hadn't already told the Protectorate lieutenant that Britt was gone. He might try to play it off as Britt being gone in another part of the ship. "No one's pretending to be that bitch," Fran said. "Oh," Petrel said. "Did you miss your chance to play wifey?" Rubbing his forehead, Andy cut in. "Look, that's not going to work. Kira's been talking to their comms lieutenant to buy us some time. He already started asking questions about Britt, and she told him her mom was gone." "Gone as in dead?" Petrel said. "That was what he took away from it. Come on, Petrel. Are you telling me you don't have an alias to give them?" "I'd rather not burn a perfectly good background if I don't have to." She stopped as if she had remembered something. "Wait, I do have something. I'm putting myself down on the passenger log as Mara Craft." "Isn't that a little close to the Cal Craft guy who's chasing us?" "Exactly," Petrel said. "I'm going to drop a little info bomb on our friend Cal Craft." Mental laughter floated across the link. "I need your comm station, Andy. I'm going to get into the Mars One Justice Network and file for a restraining order against him. I doubt it will really stop him from reaching the ring, but it might slow him down a bit. They'll also send me a ping when he crosses the geospatial boundary." "What makes you think it will get approved?" Fran asked. "They're auto-approved for 30 days anywhere in SolGov," Petrel said. "I've done this before. It's not like it ruins a person's life or anything. It's the magic of bureaucracy." "Hold on," Andy said. Kira was giggling at something else Kurta had said. Andy leaned close to her ear and whispered that it was time to end the conversation. Her face fell, but she nodded. "I'm gonna have to go, Bran," she said. "My dad says he's got the info you want." "Over the ship's link," Petrel said. "I just updated the log to show Mara Craft as a passenger. The crew manifest has you, the kids, and Fran. Congrats, Fran, you're official." The technician didn't respond. "Oh," Lieutenant Curtis said. "Sure, we're ready to receive whenever he's ready. It's been really fun talking to you, Kara. I've been out here so long I'd forgotten home. Thanks for helping me remember. Look, when you get to the ring, you should look me..." "Captain Sykes here," Andy cut in, clearing his throat. "It's time for you to brush your teeth, Kara. I know you're only 12, But you want to hang on to your real chompers as long as you can. Right, kiddo? Yes, Dad, she said, glowering at him. Curtis said nervously. Captain Sykes, your daughter sounds so much older than that. She's a real talker. Right. It's easy to forget. Yes, sir. Forward the entry to the Mars One Ring Port Authority. Safe travels, sir. Stay safe yourself, Lieutenant, Andy said. He closed the channel. Kara had a smirk on her face. Grandpa Charlie would have been proud? She asked. Andy gave her a sideways look. Too proud, he said. Chapter 5. Stellar date 09.13.2981. Adjusted years. Location, sunny skies.
Yep,
Region,
that's the farmer's
Mars
daughter
One,
act right
Mars
there.
Protectorate.
You do remember my daughter's only 12 there, buddy, don't you?
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
Final velocity adjustments before docking.
All systems nominal.
Airlock 1 had become fixed to a
Command
docking
to all
staff.
warriors on the surface. Your task is to wipe away all hostiles. Show no mercy.
Show some mercy.
Adjusting to the greater spin of Mars 1. I felt that. The track
Go quickly. I must show no mercy.
I've connected power.
Mercy not shown. Blah, 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 blah.
They know we're
Blah,
coming.
blah, 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 blah. No mercy shown. No mercy. Must give no mercy. Where are they? So that I may show them no mercy. There they are. I must show you no mercy.
Artillery strike online. Target acquired. Heat level critical. Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
Heat level critical.
I have given them no mercy. Way Bob, no mercy. Ah.
Critical. Artillery strike activated. Heat level
Enemy
critical.
forces at 75%.
Heat level critical. Heat level critical. Target
Only half of
destroyed.
the enemy remain.
You know, with a couple of points, some points into heat management.
Target acquired. New target acquired. critical.
Few hostiles are remaining. Crush
New
the
target
cowards.
acquired.
Are there?
Target spotted.
Oh, there are hostiles remaining.
New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
I can hear the fat lady singing.
Affirmative.
Target destroyed. UAV activated. Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Critical.
Get him, get him, get him, get him!
Target
The
destroyed.
hostiles are
Good game.
eradicated. Bask in the glory of your triumph.
Not bad, actually. Not bad. Wow. It's a lot of damage, actually. A lot more than I thought I'd do. 6 components? Jeez. What was my team score? And by the old traditions of you gotta just acquired has had its first successful blooded event what made kills. So now we get to play dress up. And we got a ricochet. Let's see what's in there. I don't feel like saving it up. You've got to be kidding me. Ugh. After all this fucking time. Son of a bitch. Alright, fine. Let's see what you got. A lump of coal. A lump of freaking coal! Ain't no daggum justice to this. Ain't not a lick! Wow. Kind of looks like a luchador. I am luchador. Hunchback. See, this is why they don't have stoned mech pilots. Because stupid shit like this will happen. Oh yeah. For those of you who don't know, Gypsy Thunder is a very Kurita. He is no longer a Ronin. He is a part of a company of other mech warriors who are never online. Now, let's see if this works the way I want it to. Teeth are white. Okay, so it's the closest I could get to a tongue. Kurita in red. Kurita in red. Omega Green Lance. Charlie 3 of the Omega Green Lance. House Kurita. Piloted by Gypsy Thunder. Grrr! Okay, let's see what I got to decorate the inside with. Probably nothing. Probably a whole bunch of nothing. A Davian banner. Nah. Screw it. How much is a Kurita banner? 500. Davian, Demon, Dervish, Disco Light. That is rather amusing. I do like that. I wonder if they have the pride flag in here. They probably do somewhere. Or maybe not. That's kind of neat. I like that. I want to make one of those. Get one of those spinning light things. You've seen them. I know you've seen them. Hamster wheel. The true backup generator of your mech. Kurita banner is only $250. $250. Nah, I just wanted to create a banner. Hangies are pointless. I do like the holiday star. Now, do I have any speakers that... Yeah, I got the power hammer. Or Christmas lights. I guess I'm gonna go with the power hammer. The power! The power of the people! No, we need some more points. Let's see. It should give me enough to work with for the coolant. You know, now that they started using these things, they are so freaking helpful when trimming out a mech. Yeah. That should help for now. 5. Gutter survival. At least one thing of armor. All right. Well, that is the major accomplishment for the day. That was the whole point of working, was getting this little tub thumper right here. Kind of like him. I don't know what to name him. Tell me, what would you name him? Leave your comment down below. And if you have bothered to watch this long, thank you very much. Remember to tell your friends about me. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Come and join me on MechWarrior someday and play. I promise not to shoot you too much. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Bienvenue.